Welcome to another episode of the Miami Real Estate Show. Today, I have the pleasure to interview Mick Duchon, top producer with Douglas Elliman. Originally from New Jersey, he brings a completely fresh perspective on how to perform at a very high level in the real estate industry. Along with his partner, Eloy Carmenate, they have many high-end listings, including the most expensive apartment listed for sale in Miami Beach, a $55 million penthouse in the middle of South Beach. During the interview, he shares with us how he develops such relationships with top professionals and entrepreneurs around the world. So I hope you not only enjoy, but also learn as much as I did from this interview. So, without further ado, I leave you with Mick Duchon, top producer with Douglas Elliman, South Florida.
This week's featured property is a resort-style oceanfront residence, the Continuum, located at 50 South Point Drive, Miami Beach. Designed with natural materials, oak wood floors, oak kitchen, travertine and oak bathrooms, with Corian vanities allowing an uninterrupted Atlantic Ocean, Biscayne Bay and downtown Miami view. Completely renovated residence with floating walls and 8-foot frameless Italian doors. Continuum is set on 12 acres with 1,000 linear feet of ocean frontage with full beach service, a poolside restaurant, tennis courts, and a state-of-the-art fitness center and spa. For more information, contact Mick Duchon at 305-673-4808. This episode of the Miami Real Estate Show is brought to you by Perlin Title and Escrow Services Corp., an integrated solution for all your real estate closing needs. Supported by a skilled team of professionals and state-of-the-art technology, Perlin Title will satisfy your most demanding deadlines and meet your loftiest expectations. Perlin Title and Escrow Services, delivering above and beyond service with every commercial and residential real estate closing in Florida.
Welcome to another episode of the Miami Real Estate Show. Today I have the pleasure and true honor to be in a great apartment in Miami Beach with top producer Mick Duchon. Mick, pleasure. Thank you for having me in your beautiful apartment. This is a beautiful property, and I'll let you explain to me where we are today.
We're at Continuum, at 50 South Point Drive, right at the southernmost point of South Beach. The property is standalone as the most amenitized building in Miami Beach, being set on 12 acres of land with 1,000 feet of ocean frontage.
Imagine in South Point.
On South Point, right. Yeah, no, there's nothing like this development. I
agree.
Within this complex, we're at the northwest corner of the building.
Okay. And listed for how much?
$7.4 million.
$7.4 million. You can see the beautiful South Beach, Ocean Drive, the beautiful buildings around. Then you have Fisher Island, downtown Miami, Midtown. You have Aventura, Sunny Isles, an amazing view from this 3-bedroom apartment. Well, thank you very much for having me here. I want to get started the same way I've done so many interviews in the past. 3 questions in one. Number 1, what's your background? Why real estate? And how long have you been in the business?
So I grew up in a suburb in New Jersey, a small town, Warren, New Jersey, where you had to drive past 3 farms on the way to school.
Oh,
yeah, about 45 minutes outside Manhattan. I started working in real estate at about the age of 16. I interned in Manhattan over the summer at a marketing firm. I went to college at the University of Miami.
Right, you came to Miami. You explained to me that, off camera.
I came to Miami Beach. I came to Miami first as a student at the University of Miami, and I started interning within the industry for a small company, a small brokerage with Eloy, at about 20 years old.
How much were you getting paid at the time?
At the time, at 20 years old, I interned for a year, working between 3 and 4 days a week, depending on the week, for free.
Okay.
For a year.
I know that. So, but I wanted to ask you the question so the viewers can see that. So you seek out a mentor Immediately, immediately. Actually, even before graduating from school.
Before graduating, I was
Right.
20 years old. I was a junior in college, and I worked for Eloy for free just to really start to understand the industry and see if it was the right fit for me before I devoted my career towards that.
Right.
And it ended up that I did really enjoy it, and I had a great relationship with Eloy, and I had a great mentor, and he was doing a ton of business, and I was doing basically anything anybody in the office needed to understand the ins and outs of the business from a career perspective, from a lifestyle perspective, marketing, selling, even an administrative perspective.
So you graduated. What happened next day after graduation?
I graduated May 15th in 2009. May 16th, I was in the office.
There you go. There you go. So that was one of your mentors. I know you had mentors before Eloy, but what specifically you learned through the years working with and now partnering with one of the top producers, not only in Miami, but in the United States of America?
So Eloy is definitely at the top of his craft.
Right.
He's incredible from a mentor, he's an incredible person, and he's an incredible real estate agent.
Right.
Eloy and I, watching Eloy through the years, he has an incredible work ethic, and I learned that it's not a day job, and it's not just a during the week position. It's a lifestyle.
You mentioned that 3 times to me already. It's a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. You need to, well, at least I need to eat, sleep, and breathe real estate in order to be effective. And I do that whether it be on Monday or on Sunday morning.
Okay.
From the second I wake up to the second I go to sleep, I'm focused on what's coming next.
Okay. So you mentioned from Eloy something very interesting. You've learned, you have many mentors in the past, but one thing you learned was the importance of design. Can you elaborate a little bit on that? I think it's very important for agents that want to get into the luxury market and to be more successful working with high-end clients. You have listings, you have one of the most highest profile listings in Miami, a $55 million penthouse at Faena, $55 million property right here in Miami Beach. And you have this beautiful $7.5 million property. You have $34 million properties. At Faena, actually, you have another listing for $18 million. So can you elaborate on the importance of design when working with high-end clients?
Our clientele they need a good design if they want to spend the type of money that this market's demanding right now. For example, Faena, the Faena house, the gem of the district, the residential tower that's complete now, where we have that $55 million listing, was designed inside and out by Norman Foster, who's a Pritzker Goldwing architect.
Okay, right.
They were able to achieve those numbers for multiple reasons, but one of the main reasons being of the design and the architecture of the building.
Of course.
So another example where we're sitting right now, this apartment is on the market for $7.4 million. The last sale for an apartment like this was $6.3 million. It hasn't been achieved yet, although this design exceeds the design of that apartment, and I'm very confident it will demand a higher price based on the design of the apartment.
Okay, right. So design, working with high-end clients, they are willing to pay. I mean, you're talking about Faena. I mean, Foster is one of the most recognized architects in history, right? So yeah, you attract that type of buyer.
You attract that type of buyer. It makes an impact on both buying and selling, depending on the perspective that you're looking at. From a sales perspective, when you're selling a property and when you go into a listing presentation and have the ability to discuss the design with the owner, it just shows a certain level of expertise and knowledge within the industry. From a buying perspective, it also helps you and your client determine the value of the apartment based on the work that's been completed. So there's apartments that are on the market that can achieve and most likely will achieve higher numbers if they've been renovated and if they fit the demand of the market. If the apartment is of the design palette that was attractive 10 years ago and needs work, it most likely won't achieve the same number of an apartment that's been designed with the current palette in today's market.
You also mentioned to me off camera that by identifying the design flavor or what your clients want, right, in terms of the design of their unit, then you're able to show some properties and some others you won't show, even if they are very high quality, right?
Exactly. So understanding what a client's interests and desires and their priorities are is really helpful when you're locating a property for them. So having the ability to eliminate it and discuss the property, I always present information, and then I'll discuss with the client whether or not it's worth it to view that property. So we don't waste their time or mine. Yeah,
for example, in South Florida, we have a lot of Mediterranean houses, right? But if your client is looking for a modern house, even if that Mediterranean house is an extremely good property, might not fit your client in particular.
Eliminate a whole section of the market.
Very good point. Very, very, very good point. You also talk about, off camera, we were talking about presentation. How do you present information? And I want you to elaborate on that. How do you present information to your clients and when? All right?
So the presentation of the information is different for every single client.
Very good point. It's not data dumping, right? It's how you present that information. Okay.
It's very different for every client, and there's a certain finesse and massaging of the information that needs to be completed depending on the client. Some people want to see everything and then they'll interpret on their own, and at that point you're presenting the information in a way that you just have to have an open dialogue. Others, they need you to kind of direct them in a way that's an education process, although nobody, at least what I've learned over the years, is a lot of people like to figure it out themselves.
Okay.
So I'll present the information where they come to the conclusion on their own. And
very good.
It's sometimes a longer process, but although it may take a little longer, it's more successful. In some ways, I don't really rush the process because the approach is very important depending on the client. So if my approach is in a way that turns them off, I may lose them as a client, where if I approach it in a way that enables them to figure it out on their own throughout the education process, I may have a more positive outcome.
It's such an important thing in the presentation. For example, let's talk about this beautiful unit, right? If a bachelor, right, a single person comes to the unit, and we talk about the tennis court and the space in the apartment, that might not be that appealing. I mean, we have South Beach right here, where all the action is. For a single person, that might be the #1 attraction. For the family, it's the 12 acres we have in this property and the tennis courts. For the bachelor, it might not even be something that is attractive, right?
So. I always consider their priorities and their guidelines, and I may focus on different aspects of the property, like you're saying, based on their personality traits.
So being able to present that information is key. And also you mentioned not only how you present the information, but sometimes you present some units to the clients that are not the most important ones. I haven't heard that in the past, but I saw it, I thought it was very, very interesting. So tell me about showing properties to clients that you know are not the right fit. So why is that important for the client?
It's an education process. And what takes place during the education process is different for everybody.
Okay.
If one of my clients is a local in Miami Beach, it's a lot different than if they're coming from out of town for the first time. Miami Beach it's a mixed bag here. There's a lot of different people, and for the most part, primarily, they're not primary residences. So being in a location like Continuum, for example, there's many people that come in and where they may enjoy the lifestyle here and they want a unit here, they don't need to have a unit here. So they may put a unit, or they may be unrealistic with their pricing, where another unit may not be the perfect fit because it's hard to find the perfect fit.
But wait a minute there, because you said something very important. There are many owners, absentee owners, that don't need to sell their property. But if they receive or they get the right price, they'll sell it. Right? So we need to be very aware and understand how the market is behaving. Also, you guys, a real estate agent, as experts, right? So you can find the best value for your client and your client is not misguided. That's #1 point. Very good.
So, and that comes into play, for example, where a property may be a better fit, but at a higher price. Now, that price, if it's unrealistic, I'll still show the property.
That's what I wanted to get to.
I'll show that property first with the intentions of guiding them towards another property which may not be the perfect fit, but it's a better value.
Exactly.
And depending on their, what their driving motivation is for the purchase, it may kind of create a different pathway for them to purchase that property at a better value.
Very good point. Sometimes real estate agents get stuck, right, and they can't find the right property, and because the client wants something, whether it's bigger, less expensive, or better location. Those are the three things clients base their decisions on, right? Location, size, and price. And sometimes showing a property that is way overpriced might help you find the right property where they couldn't see as the right property, but when you compare the value, then you see. Very, very, very good point. Now, I want to jump into something that we usually ask at the beginning, which is, do you have a habit that contributes, a daily routine that contributes to your success in real estate? So what is it?
So I like to think that they do.
Okay, and you do, because off camera I have my notes here, so I did my homework. I was writing. Okay,
I like to think that they do, but
very humble, so I appreciate that.
It's not complicated. My life, really isn't very complicated. I try and keep it simple.
Very good. Like we say in coaching, clarity, simplicity, and then focus, right?
So typically my mornings are waking up very early.
What time?
From my perspective, between 5:30 and 6.
Very good.
And I start with coffee.
Okay.
and I read certain publications every single morning. And I don't...
Which ones are they?
The Real Deal,
okay,
which is like the Bible for real estate in South Florida. The Daily Business Review, also the same. The Wall Street Journal, and the Miami Herald.
Okay.
Every single morning. I don't spend that much time on it. I spend between 30 and 45 minutes.
Which is more time than most agents spend.
And every morning, because I need to be aware of what's going on, not just from a real estate perspective, but from a current events perspective, what's happening.
So again, it's the Real Deal, Wall Street Journal, Miami Herald, and
the Daily Business Review.
The Daily Business Review. Okay.
That takes place from between about 6 and 6:30.
Okay.
I'll answer any urgent emails.
Okay.
Also, between about 6:30 and 7. And these are all rough times. Each morning is different. I try not to set an alarm. Try to wake up naturally.
Very good point. Very good point.
And if I need extra sleep, I'll just kind of take it.
Very good point.
And then I work out from 7 to 8, which is crucial to my day.
Okay.
If I don't work out in the morning, then I feel like something's missing. And even if I need to rest from working out, I still don't.
Okay.
I'll do something, whether it's 15, 20 minutes of cardio, but normally it's about an hour every day. And then between, I get ready to go to work between 8 and 8:30, and then my phone starts ringing at about 8:30, and I'm off.
Very, very quick. I want to emphasize what you just said about cardio activities, and I was mentioning to you before, if anybody's interested, I recommend the book Spark, Sparke. It's a very, very good book, and it explains to you chemically what's happening in your brain after 20, 25 minutes of cardio, and you don't need more than half an hour, right? Your brain is releasing dopamine, it's amandamine, which are neurochemicals in your brain. Also BDNF, which is what's called a chemical drug. So it's very, very important if you're interested, or it's very important to do exercise in the morning. So if you're interested in more information about that, you can read that book. It's an amazing book. So number one, you read. Number two, you do exercise. What else?
So after working out, a lot of the emails, after working out and getting ready, a lot of the emails that I've sent out earlier that morning start coming to fruition. I start receiving responses from people that are, whether they're waking up or just getting their day started. And my phone literally starts ringing off the hook because of the listings that we have. Right. And the people that, the agents. And
how many listings do you have right now?
We have about 18 listings.
18 listings, okay.
18 listings, majority of them are sales listings. So our sales listings, whether I'm catering to agents, whether it be arranging appointments, because I'm literally at every agent's disposal for our listings. I have to service our clients, and I don't, every missed call for me is a missed opportunity.
Exactly.
So I try and answer every call, whether it's negotiating a transaction for a client, sending out information to engage buyers, or just organizing my day. And
just to be curious, what's the volume of those listings on average?
Our average listing is between 6 and 8 million.
Okay.
We have some larger listings, like you mentioned before, the $55 million listing at Faina.
Right. $18 million.
$18 million listing at Faina, and then also we have an incredible single-family
Right.
home. That's, you know, the epitome of luxury.
Right.
It's absolutely incredible that we have listed at 34 million.
Okay, cool. Now, so in the morning you wake up, drink coffee, read publications for about 30 to 40 minutes. Then what happens is you exercise for about an hour, right? And then what else happens after you answer the emails?
So answering emails, and then I'll get ready for work. And meaning I'm catching up with the people in my office because I have to give them their rest too. I don't want to bombard them.
Right.
I'll bombard myself, but I won't bombard them. So I am working with them to organize my day, and then I start either meeting with clients or I go into the office and I start working on marketing for all my listings.
Right. See, you said something off cameras which is very important. And you said it here too. You simplify your day. Right. In coaching, we teach agents to make sure that they have the clarity, the simplicity, and the focus to be productive in the day. And you said to me, I work out, I do the research, and I'm out with clients. Everything else is handled by the office, or I'm doing marketing. You said marketing.
I focus on marketing because I have to communicate my vision over to the people that we work with, so they're not stuck in the dark. I do, but my life is really simple. I mean, broken down. I read, I work out, I work, and I generate clients, and I meet with clients.
When you work, how many people do you have in your office that assist you in your daily routines in terms of work?
3 people.
3 people. Very good.
People. We have an administrative person, an assistant that helps me with communication, and a marketing person.
See, delegating, it's key. If you don't delegate, it's impossible to grow. Now, if you could give one piece of advice to an agent that is getting started, a friend, you're from New Jersey, so let's say a friend comes from New Jersey and says, Mick, you know, I just got my real estate license, I'm moving down to Miami. What advice would you give that particular person?
So there's a few things. It's the formula, and it's different for everybody because everybody has a different style. For me, what's worked is it's a commitment. I'm eat, sleeping, and breathing this lifestyle of real estate. It's not a job, and it is a career, but it's embedded in me on a, whether it be, like I said before, Monday or Saturday or Sunday. And it's constant. Even if even during my leisure time, I'll read things that are related to real estate.
Very good.
You know, and even the books that I read for leisure, some of them are about architecture, maybe the history of Miami Beach.
Very good.
You know, and also the things that I enjoy, I relate to my clients about too, because although we work in the business industry, our clients we have to relate to separate from business. So you build a separate rapport with them. So there's an embedded trust that they have with you, and hopefully you build a chemistry with them that you can carry, not for the first transaction, but it may be for the second, third, and fourth, depending on.
One more thing you mentioned before we finished the interview that I thought that was very interesting. We know that you have many connections in New York and in Chicago. However, you don't travel much. And your answer was?
So I pride on being on the ground here and really understanding the market and being knowledgeable about the market and what's happening on a day-to-day basis. So I'm constantly working with other agents and referral sources. I always pay referrals.
Very good.
Always pay referrals, even if they tell me not to. I still send them a check. Because, well, everybody likes to get a check.
Of course. I'm not the first person.
Everybody likes to get paid. And they keep coming back because of that. Now, I also have, being here in Miami Beach, I think at least it makes people feel like I'm reliable. To be on the ground at all times and to knowing what's happening on a day-to-day basis. I cooperate with all agents. I always pay, and I'm always in touch and communicating.
And you mentioned this is the hub, right? So people from New York, from Chicago, they come to Miami, so you don't have to travel that much. Just make sure that you're in constant communication.
Exactly. I really don't travel much, but a lot of people that I work with tend to come to Miami frequently. So I make myself available when they're here to either meet with them socially or in a business meeting, whichever they prefer works for me.
Mick, it's been a pleasure. As you know, I know many top producers in Miami. Some of them I coach, some of them I interview, and they spoke very, very highly of you. So I was expecting to have this interview with you. I hope the viewers enjoy this interview as much as I did. Thank you very much for having me in this beautiful apartment of yours. And, and Eloy, I really enjoy the view. It's an amazing, amazing place. And I just see a Lamborghini right there driving in Ocean Drive. This is incredible on a Monday, all right? So Mick, thank you very much for having us here in your apartment. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your time.
And until next time, make it a very, very productive day. Take care, guys.